Chapter 2838. Su Yu, young Master Wei, you're so cool. Did your family know that you went to the Heavenly Fragrance last weekend? Wei Liao, fuck, don't set me up. Lord Su, if I don't set you up, I'll set you up. Who told you to keep reminding me that I'm single? This time, Lord Su was being arrogant. Everyone burst out laughing. Wei Liao, good job. No wonder you came home late. You went to the Heavenly Fragrance, Jiang Xiaowei said with a smile. That's right. Don't be fooled by Wei Liao's personality. He's actually very smart. Honey, let me explain. Wei Liao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I won't stop. Let me ask you, you got off work 5 minutes later than usual. How can you do this to me? 5 minutes. What can I do in 5 minutes? Wei Liao cried out. Don't you know what you can do in 5 minutes? Jiang Xiaowei glared at him. Ah, you're amazing, young Master Wei. You look so healthy, but it's only 5 minutes. Tang Chuan burst out laughing. Is this the highest level of insulting your own husband? Gao Ran laughed as well. Oh no. Lord Su provoked a war between the Wei couple with one sentence. Wei Yunchu, come back, your parents are going to fight. Zhu Lingling yelled on purpose. Calm down, Auntie Lingling. This kind of thing doesn't happen in our family. At least, I haven't seen it in the past few years since I was born. My daddy never talks back to my mommy, Wei Yunchu said matter-of-factly. Oh, you're a henpecked husband. Tang Chuan laughed evilly. You're almost there too, don't laugh at me, okay? Wei Liao patted Tang Chuan's shoulder as if he had been there before. My Ning Ning isn't that fierce, she's gentle. Tang Chuan hugged Qi Ning's waist and continued to flaunt their love. Lord Su, you and Beauty Nye don't stand a chance? Jiang Xiaowei suddenly asked. I never did, okay? You guys wrote it in your hearts, didn't you? Su, you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Let's talk business. Hui Yanyan will bring that third-rate lawyer's defense tomorrow. Shen Jiani's case might be delayed. Gao Ran's sudden appearance. There won't be a delay. I won't let her get away with it. Look, Yanyan is right. Hui Yanyan. Here, honey, open your mouth. I'll feed you pork trotters. Gao Ran picked up half of the pork trotters and handed it to her. Damn it, to save time, you didn't peel the shrimp for me. Instead, you fed me pork trotters. Zhu Lingling was speechless. They had a great time at the party. When they went back, the twins were tired and fell asleep in the back. Ever since Huamin got pregnant, she used an RV to pick her up and drop her off, except for work. Qin Chu would drive a sports car, a Bentley, or a Rolls-Royce. But whenever he went out with Huamin, he would always switch to an RV because it was spacious and comfortable. Honey. Yeah. Starting tomorrow, you're not allowed to drive to work. But Huamin looked surprised. I studied the route you take to work. It's not easy to drive on the road because there are too many potholes. Your sports car has a low chassis. I'm afraid it won't be stable and hurt our baby. You're not that delicate. Huamin didn't think much of it. So, do you want to resign or change your car? Qin Chu asked directly. Huamin once again felt Qin Chu's domineering aura. Chapter 2839. Don't resign. Huamin pursed her lips. Then we'll switch cars. But the RV is too big. I'm afraid I won't be able to find the right space and it'll be troublesome to reverse, Huamin argued. Who wants you to drive? What else? Huamin was shocked. The chauffeur will drive, my gosh. So, starting tomorrow, I'll need a motorbike to drive me to work? Huamin was surprised. No, there will be 2 bodyguards inside, Qin Chu added. Huamin was speechless. So, do you want to consider quitting? No, definitely not. I'll just have a chauffeur. Wouldn't bodyguards be too flashy? Huamin felt awkward. Do you think it's more important to feel awkward or our baby in your belly? Qin Chu asked. Can you win? Mr. Qin's simple words convinced Huamin and he easily took back her sports car. It was a luxurious RV with a chauffeur and bodyguards. Wasn't this more powerful than the mayor? Honey, won't Hu Xiqin get suspicious? If he finds out I'm pregnant, I'm afraid. Don't be afraid of anything. I'll take care of everything. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand tightly. Huamin nodded, warmth rising in her heart. She believed that Qin Chu would know what to do as long as he said it. Honey, do we really not need to go to the hearing tomorrow? No need. Then, have you made arrangements with Hua Yanyan's lawyer? Huamin thought. Arrangements? I guess so. Qin Chu's lips curled up coldly and he didn't say anything else. Huamin felt a little sleepy. She leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder and dozed off. Honey. Yeah. What should we name our second child? It won't be too late to wait until he's born. When the time comes, we must hold a full moon party. Wait, we haven't even held a wedding. I'll make it up for you. I promise. Qin Chu reached out his hand and stroked the bangs on her forehead. Yes, I'll wait. I'll wait for that day. No matter how late it is, even if I'm 60 years old, I'll announce to the world that I'm married to you. Huamin was really sleepy. After saying that, he fell asleep. You don't have to wait until you're 60, Mian. After we take care of Hua Xiqian, we'll hold our wedding. I'll cover the entire city with red silk and tell everyone that I, Qin Chu, am lucky enough to marry you, Huamin. Qin Chu's voice was soft because he didn't want to wake her up. Unfortunately, Huamin was in a deep sleep and couldn't hear him. Daddy, it's not good for you to confess to Mommy when she's asleep. Pudding woke up at some point and leaned over from the back seat. It's not good to eavesdrop on Daddy. I didn't eavesdrop. I just listened. Daddy, you didn't accompany Mommy when she was pregnant with us last time. This time, you must protect her, Pudding said. Of course. Qin Chu nodded and tightened his arms around Huamin. The truth is, Mommy's life isn't easy. Everyone thinks she's smart and fearless in the face of danger. In fact, she's just a weak woman. She's not that strong, of course. In my eyes, your mommy will always be a little girl, just like when I first met her. Qin Chu smiled warmly. No wonder the books say that the best love is when you spoil her like a child and she worships you like a hero. Pudding tilted her head and sighed. Late at night, in the first hospital's plastic surgery department ward, Zhang Manlin suddenly woke up from her sleep. At this moment, she saw a dark shadow standing by the door. Chapter 2840. Who's there? Who's there? Zhang Manlin panicked. No one spoke, but the black figure was getting closer and closer. Help! Before she could say the word, help, the black figure was in front of her. Then he covered her mouth with his hand. Under the moonlight, Zhang Manlin slowly looked up. Then, her pupils dilated and dilated. The man in front of her had a devilish smile on his face. He was wearing a black leather jacket, and his hairstyle was different from usual. It was the first time she had seen such an unruly appearance, so she was shocked. Big Brother Qian. Zhang Manlin almost couldn't hear her own voice because it was trembling so much. Big Brother Qian? Oh, it seems like you think I'm that lovesick fool. The man's voice was a little hoarse and was indeed different from usual. Big Brother Qian, I know I've done you wrong. Please don't kill me. I don't want to die. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. I've received the punishment I deserved. When I get out of the hospital, I'll go back to my hometown in the mountain village. I won't come back. Please don't kill me. The person Zhang Manlin was most afraid of was Hua Xiqian. In fact, she didn't want to betray him in the first place. It was all because the twins and Qin Chu played a big game of chess and set Zhang Manlin up. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to do this even if she had 10 more guts. Because in the past 5 years, she knew what kind of person Hua Xiqian was. Especially when he smiled, it was frightening and made people's scalps tingle. I told you, I'm not him. He's been really kind lately. He didn't even protect a traitor like you. Is it just disfigurement? Hua Xiqian, no. Hua Xiqian's second personality, Jack, grabbed Zhang Manlin's chin tightly. Then he stared at the bandaged face. Big Brother Qian, no. Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. She didn't even have time to think if the person in front of her was Hua Xiqian or his second personality. She only felt that if Hua Xiqian's true body appeared here, then she would definitely be dead. Since he can't bear to do it, then I'll do it for him. After all, he's responsible for the murder. That son of a bitch, how dare he take so many drugs to force me out? Jack's eyes were filled with hatred. Because Huasiqian had been using a lot of drugs to suppress the cranial nerves, Jack's personality had not appeared for a long time. It was rare for Huasiqian to stay up late and forget to take his medicine, so he took advantage of the situation. The first thing he wanted to do after coming out was to create some trouble. If I kill you before swaggering out of the hospital, the cameras will capture everything. Let's see how he deals with it then. I believe he won't be willing to go to jail. With that, Jack covered Zhang Manlin's mouth with one hand and gripped her neck with the other. Zhang Manlin felt like she couldn't breathe. Big brother? She struggled to say something, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't make a sound. It was the first time she felt so close to death. Huasiqian used 100% of his strength. Zhang Manlin knew that he wanted to kill her. Just then, footsteps came from outside the ward. Then, there was a knock on the door. Jack frowned slightly. Chapter 2841. Miss Zhang, are you asleep? Zhang Manlin's mouth was covered, so she couldn't speak. She shook her head anxiously. Okay, you're lucky today. I'll come back for you. Then, Jack sneered, opened the window, and jumped out of the 6th floor with the help of the steel wire. He was as light as a swallow. Help! Zhang Manlin finally reacted and screamed after Jack left. The person outside the door heard her and immediately rushed in. It was Zhang Shubao, the security guard, the first man who slept with Zhang Manlin. Ever since he found out that Zhang Manlin was hospitalized, he wanted to visit her, but he had been on duty recently. He finally got off work early today, but it was already midnight. He couldn't sleep, so he thought about it and bought some fruits to visit her. If Zhang Manlin was asleep, he would put the things down and leave, but he didn't expect that he would coincidentally save Zhang Manlin's life. Miss Zhang, what's wrong? Zhang Shubao came in and hugged the scared Zhang Manlin. Call the police. Someone wants to kill me. Who wants to kill you? Tell me slowly. Huasiqian wants to kill me. Call the police. Call the police. Zhang Manlin grabbed Zhang Shubao's collar and shook him like a crazy person, begging him to call the police. Okay, calm down, I'll call the police for you. Zhang Shubao didn't dare to ask more, so he immediately took out his phone and called 110 for Zhang Manlin. The police were very efficient, and in less than 10 minutes, 2 police officers who were on the night shift at the nearest police station arrived. Who called the police just now? The police asked. I called the police. Zhang Manlin was covered with a hospital blanket, her hair was messy, and the gauze on her face was still there. Why did you call the police? The police officer held a pen and notebook, ready to take down her statement. Officer, someone wants to kill me, hurry up and arrest him, he almost strangled me. Zhang Manlin said agitatedly. Calm down, tell us your name, age, home address, and work unit. Tell us your information first. Miss Zhang, don't be anxious. Take your time to tell the police. Yes, officer, I also want to call the police. This man raped me in the cellar, he raped me 3 times. Zhang Manlin pointed at Zhang Shubao and said, I. Zhang Shubao didn't expect Zhang Manlin to bite back at him, so he was speechless. The 2 policemen looked at each other. What's your relationship? It's so late. Why you here? The policeman looked at Zhang Shubao and asked. We're friends. We both work at GK. Miss Zhang was recently hospitalized, so I came to visit her after my night shift. I don't know you. You lied. You raped me. You're not a good person. You're a bastard. After speaking, Zhang Manlin grabbed a policeman's arm and said excitedly, Police, someone just snuck into my room and tried to kill me. Don't be hasty. Speak slowly. Who wants to kill you? Huasiqian. It's definitely Huasiqian. Huasiqian? Which Huasiqian? The policeman was slightly surprised. He's that famous big shot. Don't you know Huasiqian? Zhang Manlin asked. Don't tell me it's the boss of the Hua Corporation? One of the policemen asked. Isn't President Hua Mayor Yan's son-in-law? They're about to get married. The wedding is in a few days. Are you kidding me? The other policeman stared at Zhang Manlin in disbelief, thinking she was crazy. Chapter 2842. Officer, I'm not lying to you. It's him, but why would he want to kill you? The officer looked at Zhang Manlin in confusion. Because Zhang Manlin realized that she couldn't say it directly. She couldn't say that he wanted to kill her because she was a traitor. So, she said, maybe it's because I accidentally found out some of his secrets. Miss Zhang, are you sure it's Wuxia, the president of the Huo Corporation? He doesn't have the same name, right? Yes, it's him. I'm sure. Do you have any proof? The officer asked. I saw him with my own eyes. He almost strangled me to death. Why are you asking me for proof? Zhang Manlin was furious. The problem is, what if you're making false accusations? We can't arrest him just because you said so. The officer felt wronged. Go check the hospital's surveillance. If he came in through the door, the hallway's surveillance must have caught it. It can't be wrong. Zhang Manlin remembered that when Wuxia strangled her, he was mumbling something about how he was going to get away if the video caught him. Li, go check the surveillance, one of the officers said to the other. Okay. 15 minutes later, the officer came back. How is it? Did you see it? No, the hospital's surveillance broke during maintenance today. The entire hospital can't use it. There's no way to check it. He must have asked someone to do it. I'm telling you, Wuxia is very powerful. Yan Ruashi is the mayor's daughter. So, he can do whatever he wants in this city. You have to believe me, officer. Miss Zhang, we still have the same question. You have no proof. How can we believe you? You can ask our president, Mr. Qin Chu. He knows a lot about Wuxia. If those things are exposed, Wuxia will be executed. You can call Mr. Qin. Call President Qin? It's already so late, isn't it not good? One of the policemen was a little embarrassed. That's right. I heard that CEO Qin is a good friend of our Municipal Public Security Bureau's Commissioner Gao. If we disturb him in the middle of the night, won't we be put on hold? The other one was also scared. No, President Qin is the boss of our group. He will definitely stand up for our employees. Zhang Manlin didn't give up. Miss Zhang, how about this? It's already very late. You should rest early. We'll come back tomorrow to record your statement, okay? No, if you dare to leave, I'll call the media and say that you police officers don't do your jobs. You take our taxpayers' money but refuse to do anything for us and protect the rich. I'll expose you black-hearted police officers. Zhang Manlin was crazy. She would bite anyone she saw. Does your friend have a history of mental illness? The police officer ignored Zhang Manlin and asked the security guard, Zhang Shubao. I'm not sure either. I haven't known her for long, and we're both new employees of GK. Zhang Shubao didn't dare to answer. I'm not mentally ill. Every word I said is true. It's really Wuxia. Hurry up and arrest him. What should we do? The two policemen were in a dilemma. How about we call our director and ask him to contact Commissioner Gao? He can ask President Qin in a roundabout way. After all, she's an employee of his company, right? One of them suggested. Chapter 2843. Then, that's the only way. The two officers were afraid that the woman would continue to make trouble with the media. If she tarnished the reputation of the police station, she would definitely be punished. So, one of the officers comforted Zhang Manlin in the ward while the other went out to call the director to report the incident. In the end, the director of the police station came out and called Gao Ran in a humble voice. Gao Ran risked his life to call Qin Chu again. Finally, there was a response. Half an hour later, the officer returned to the ward. Li, what did they say? The officer glanced at Zhang Manlin and said, President Qin said that these two people were employees of his company and didn't do it. However, he didn't know what the woman said about the inside story of Wuxia. President Qin isn't familiar with Wuxia, so he didn't understand what Ms. Zhang said. Well, how is that possible? Qin Chu, he said that? Zhang Manlin was dumbfounded. Oh, right, President Qin also said. What else did he say? The other officer asked. CEO Qin said that this young lady and this security guard might be in a relationship. They're not a couple at all. Also, according to the company's response, Miss Zhang has some emotional problems. He suggested that we send her to a mental health center for testing. Qin Chu. I hate you. Zhang Manlin's last hope was shattered. Not only would Qin Chu not protect her, but he would also kick her when she was down. There's one more thing that we verified. Li said. What is it? Tonight, Ms. Zhang said that President Hua tried to kill her and came to her room to strangle her. At that time, President Hua had a witness. Just now, a reporter took a picture of President Hua and the head of Angel Charity, Mr. Cui Zhenwu, drinking tea and having supper at the Hilton Hotel. So, the witness didn't come at all. This Ms. Zhang is full of nonsense. Then, the officer looked at Zhang Manlin with disdain. He felt that he and his colleagues had been tortured by a lunatic in the middle of the night for so long, they were even scolded by the director. How could this be? No, don't believe them. They're putting on an act. I saw it with my own eyes. Zhang Manlin corrected. Miss Zhang, please pay attention to your words. You're just a commoner without any status or status. Why would these big shots put on an act for you? Also, I think you're not only mentally ill, but also paranoid. Let's go, we're done for the day. How unlucky. I was tricked by a mentally ill person in the middle of the night and even got scolded by the director. After saying that, the two young policemen turned around and left. Don't go. Listen to me. Zhang Manlin tried to make one last struggle. Zhang Manlin, you're really something. I can't believe you told the police that I raped you. You even wrote and directed a story about how you were almost strangled to death. You're really mentally unstable. At this moment, even Zhang Shubao wanted to despise Zhang Manlin. What is a country bumpkin like you know? It's complicated. Zhang Manlin roared. No matter how complicated it is, it's not as complicated as your heart. I'm just confused. You were born in the countryside, right? How can you be so calculative? You're always talking about this and that. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Do you think those big shots care about you? Whether it's President Hua or President Qin, are they people you can compare to? Zhang Shubao asked with disdain. I'll definitely get my revenge. I won't let them go. I'll kill them all. Zhang Manlin sat on the hospital bed and screamed. Chapter 2844. Look at you now, who can you kill? I don't think I'm a heartless man. Since I slept with you, I want to be responsible for you. Even if you don't have a pretty face, I don't mind. If you're willing, you can resign and come with me. We'll go back to our hometown. I'll take the money President Qin gave us and sell my house. We'll go back to the foot of the mountain and build a 3-story bungalow. Then, we'll live like our parents. What do you think? Zhang Shubao had never been in a relationship before, so he had been thinking about Zhang Manlin ever since he met her. Even if his buddies told him that Zhang Manlin was a scheming bitch and wasn't suitable for him, he still wouldn't give up. So, in the middle of the night he secretly came to see her. After seeing Zhang Manlin's miserable state, he couldn't bear to see her like this. So, he said what he just said. The truth was, Zhang Shubao didn't mind Zhang Manlin's situation at all. He wanted to take her back to his hometown and live a peaceful life. He had done everything he could. If it were any other girl, they would probably be moved to tears. Unfortunately, Zhang Manlin wasn't like any other girl. She had always thought that she wasn't an ordinary person. She always wanted to live in the upper class. To be honest, she was jealous of Huamin. He drove a sports car worth millions at such a young age. He lived in a mansion worth more than 400 million yuan, had a bunch of maids, and didn't have to do anything himself. She was also respected at South Side. Most importantly, she had such an outstanding man who loved her deeply. So, she had always wanted to replace Huamin. In the past, Huasiqian asked her to imitate Huamin, but she just did it mechanically. It wasn't until later, when she saw Huamin in person, that she was even more stimulated. She wanted everything about Huamin. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out the way she wanted. Not only did her wishful dreams not come true, but she also didn't. Furthermore, he had implicated her and made her look neither human nor ghost. Go with you? Dream on. I'd rather die than go back with you. Don't pretend to be a good person here. You're just a disgusting rapist. In my eyes, you're just an idiot. How can you compare yourself to the man in my heart? Zhang Manlin sneered. Ha, who's the real idiot here? You know best in your heart. Since that's the case, I won't say much. You're on your own now. With that, Zhang Shubao turned around. Zhang Manlin picked up the bag of fruits he bought and threw it at him. Take away your cheap goods and don't ever let me see you again, country bumpkin. Zhang Manlin threatened. At this moment, Zhang Shubao only felt that he was really cheap to the extreme. Why would he like such a vicious woman? In a certain nightclub in Sea City, inside the Emperor Private Room, a group of men and women were dancing and singing, but some people felt particularly lonely in such an atmosphere. Shen Mingxi was one of them. Young Master Shen, have a drink. During this time, many long-legged models came over to flatter him, but Shen Mingxi drove them all away. No, I want to drink by myself. Shen Mingxi was already slightly tipsy. Just then, a rich young master walked over with his phone and put his arm around Shen Mingxi's shoulder. Young Master Shen looked. Your woman spent the night at that perverted lawyer's house again. She went in an hour ago and turned off the lights. It seems like she doesn't want to come out. It has nothing to do with me. We've already broken up. Shen Mingxi's heart ached when he said this. Chapter 2845. I know. What I mean is, why did you fall for such a slutty woman? It's not like you. The man laughed disdainfully. In the past, Shen Mingxi would have punched the man in front of him to the ground. He couldn't stand it when people talked bad about Hui Yanyan. But now, other than a cold smile, he didn't have any other reaction. Perhaps his heart was broken. She was willing to climb into an old man's bed to save her mother, who had done all kinds of bad things. Back then, I guess I was blind. Shen Mingxi laughed at himself. Hey, that's not a big deal. But it's a little ugly. I heard that she hooked up with this lawyer before you guys broke up. Isn't she cheating on you? Young Master Shen, we've known each other for a long time. My family is both legal and illegal. Just say the word and I'll stand up for you. What do you think? No need. Shen Mingxi shook his head. But aren't you angry? I think the worst thing you can do is break their legs. If word gets out that she cheated on you, it'll be embarrassing. The rich young master was trying to stir up trouble. Unfortunately, Shen Mingxi was never an impulsive person. It's all in the past. Since we broke up, we're strangers. There's no need to do this. It's meaningless. Then, Shen Mingxi picked up his wine glass and poured himself a drink. The rich young master turned around and danced with the model. His phone was on the coffee table. Shen Mingxi raised his head and inadvertently caught sight of the photo that someone had secretly taken just now. In the photo, Hui Yanyan was wearing black stockings. Her long hair was curled and dyed maroon. She looked much better than before, but she was less plain and more coquettish. This wasn't the Hui Yanyan he used to know. The Hui Yanyan he knew was the kind of person who called him Mingxi shyly, cooked for him, and washed his clothes when she was on her period. The woman who wore cartoon pajamas and lay in his arms while watching One Piece. The woman in the photo was more like a demon. Shen Mingxi once again felt a dull pain in his heart. He took out his phone and posted on his WeChat moments. If you take a wrong turn, remember to turn back. If you love the wrong person, remember to let go. I don't remember if I saw this sentence on Weibo or somewhere else. In short, at this moment, it was a good medicine to comfort myself. Yes, just treat it as a misplaced love. The woman he thought was his true love had now become a passerby. It wasn't that he didn't love her, but that he couldn't love her anymore. Was he too stupid? A month ago, he was still thinking about how to tell his family about the wedding. He had always felt that Hui Yanyan's parents were no longer around and she was pitiful enough. Therefore, he wanted to give her a proper position and a proper wedding. Now, Shen Mingxi sneered. At this moment, there were a lot of comments on her phone. He looked at them coldly. They were all unrelated people. On the other hand, Tang Chuan replied, "You're a typical person who won't shed tears until you see the coffin. You won't turn back until you hit the southern wall." Shen Mingxi replied to Tang Chuan, "Now that you've shed tears, you've turned back." Tang Chuan replied, "Then everything happened in a hurry. These are no big deal. 10 years later, they'll all be dishes with wine." Shen Mingxi replied to Tang Chuan. Thanks for comforting me, bro. Tang Chuan continued to reply, you're sure you don't want to go to the court tomorrow, right? Chapter 2846. I'm not going. Shen Mingxi was determined not to get involved in this matter. Very good. You did the right thing. You're in the right position. Tang Chuan felt comforted. The next morning, after dressing up, Hui Yanyan went out with lawyer Wang, planning to defend her mother in court. However, as soon as they opened the door, they saw 2 police cars. The 2 of them were confused. Wang Jialai, is that you? The leading police officer asked. That's me. You're the head of Ming Zhuang law firm, right? Yes, that's me. What's the matter, police officer? Lawyer Wang was also confused. You're suspected of sexually assaulting an underage girl. Based on the client's report, we're taking you back to assist in the investigation. This is an arrest warrant from the police station. What? Did you get the wrong person? The bald lawyer's face changed drastically. You know very well whether we got the wrong person or not. 3 months ago, you used your identity as a lawyer and pretended to help Sun Xiaomin, an out-of-school girl, in her civil lawsuit. She's not even 18 years old yet. Now that she's reported you, we've done a lot of investigation and found that the evidence is conclusive. Police officer, you can't just listen to that damned girl's one-sided story. I'm innocent. She tried to blackmail me but failed, that's why she said that. She's slandering me. Plus, when she showed me her ID card, it said she was 20 years old. I didn't know she was underage. You can't blame me for this. Lawyer Wang, calm down. We're the police, so don't worry. We won't accuse you wrongly. You're only assisting in the investigation. If you didn't, we'll give you justice. So, if you have anything to say, keep it to yourself. When you get to the police station, tell our colleagues who'll take your statement. It's useless to talk to me now. Take him away. Then, the police officer ordered, and 2 subordinates immediately came up and took Wang Jialai away. Hey, what are you doing? I still have an important case to attend to. Can't you wait for me to come back? In his extreme dissatisfaction, the old pervert was taken away by the police. Hui Yanyan immediately felt uncomfortable. She clenched her fists. She knew that Qin Chu or Su Yu must be behind this. Otherwise, why did it have to happen on the way to the court instead of being arrested earlier? He simply didn't give Hui Yanyan any time to think of a countermeasure. She risked her courage and slept with the old pervert several times, thinking that he would obediently go to court, but she did not expect that such a thing would happen at this critical juncture. This is so infuriating. After that, Hui Yanyan picked up her phone and called some of her friends for help. Yanyan, I've already asked around. No one dares to take your mother's case. I heard someone said that whoever dares to take the case is courting death. You can't blame them. However, the most important thing right now is that I think you should give it a try. After all, you've been organizing the information for so long. You should understand some of the key points. If you can't do it, you can defend your mother yourself. Try it and see if you can get off lightly. Then, you won't have wasted all this time. I'm defending her? Can I? Hui Yanyan was confused. Why not? The problem is that no one is willing to help you right now. Just give it a try. After all, it's a desperate attempt. Someone advised Hui Yanyan. Okay, Hui Yanyan braced herself and drove to the court alone. Chapter 2847. As the parents of the twins, Qin Chu and Huamin were the plaintiff's family. Therefore, they would not be attending the trial. This was already reported by the media a long time ago. Therefore, when Hui Yanyan appeared at the entrance of the courtroom alone, she was immediately surrounded by a large group of reporters. Madam Hua, I heard that you've done a lot for today's case. Madam Hua, do you think you have a good chance of winning today? Do you think you'll be satisfied with the outcome? I heard that lawyer Wang Jialai has taken over the case. Why isn't he here in person? Someone also said that you've broken up with the president of the Shun Corporation. Is that true? Did you think that things would end up like this when you interfered with President Shun's marriage as a third party? I heard that your relationship with Deputy Director Hua is strained. Are you really going to disregard your sisterly relationship this time? You're half-sisters, aren't you? Did your brother, Wuxia, help you with this case? If your mother loses today's case, will you continue to appeal? Did you break up with President Xin because of this case? Or was there another third party involved? Can you tell us more about it? I heard that you're the only one who will be here today. President Qin and Deputy Director Huo won't be here. Did you meet in private before this? Will you reconcile? Someone even said that you spent 1,000,000 yuan and slept with Lawyer Wang. Is that true? Someone took a picture of you staying overnight at Lawyer Wang's place last night. Did you two have an affair or did you announce your relationship? After all, Lawyer Wang's ex-wife passed away many years ago. Most of the reporters were people who liked to add insult to injury. Their questions were also extremely harsh. Therefore, Hui Yanyan's face turned pale when she heard the questions. If she and Wang Jialai were here today, she might still be in the mood to deal with the reporters. But now, she really didn't have the leisure to talk nonsense with them. Everyone, I'm sorry. This is a family matter and I can't talk about it. Please pay more attention to social issues, charity issues, and medical issues. Don't pay attention to an ordinary citizen like me. I'm going to court now, so I can't talk about it. Excuse me. Hui Yanyan was wearing a pair of coffee-colored sunglasses. She lowered her head and dismissed the media with a few words. Whether it was her breakup with Shen Mingxi, her relationship with Wang Jialai, her private reconciliation with Huamin, or today's case. She didn't even want to say another word. God knew how bad her mood was right now. Just like that, Hui Yanyan walked through the crowd with her head lowered and entered the courtroom. Around 8:30 all the court personnel had arrived and were waiting for the police to escort the criminal over for the trial. Ever since Hui Yanyan came back, she had only seen her mother once. After that, she was told that she was not allowed to visit her mother again. Therefore, she missed her mother quite a lot. She didn't know what her mother, who loved to look beautiful, was like now. Was he already haggard beyond recognition? Had he aged more than 10 years? Would he have white hair? Hui Yanyan was actually very immature. Because her mother was too domineering, she always made decisions for her and her younger brother. All these years, she didn't have the ability to analyze and deal with things on her own. Basically, she couldn't do anything big. The only reason she pursued Shen Mingxi was because she had a crush on him when she was young. 20 minutes passed. Hui Yanyan kept looking at her watch. Why aren't they here yet? She was a little impatient. Just then, the court personnel rushed in. Oh no, the police car escorting the criminal has an accident. Hui Yanyan was shocked when she heard this. Chapter 2848. What happened? Hui Yanyan asked anxiously. The police car that was transporting the criminals collided with a small truck. They've all been sent to the hospital. We don't know if they're still alive. What? Hui Yanyan, who had been sitting down, suddenly stood up. Which hospital? It's closest to South Side, so they've been sent there. The staff said. Without another word, Hui Yanyan grabbed her bag and rushed out. Then, she drove straight to South Side Recuperation Center. South Side Recuperation Center was called a recuperation center, but it was more for emergency treatment and difficult surgeries. Huamin had strict requirements for surgical techniques. South Side Recuperation Center was also famous for treating patients, so more people came to visit. Even some rich people and dignitaries from other provinces would come here to recuperate and treat their illnesses. Hearing that her mother was in an accident and had been sent to South Side Recuperation Center, Hui Yanyan was on the verge of breaking down. South Side Recuperation Center 10 minutes ago, Huamin received a notice from the hospital that people had been sent to the scene of the accident. One of them was severely injured and needed immediate surgery. She rushed down from the office and found that the injured person was Xinjiani. Deputy Director, what do we do now? We need the patient's family to sign the papers. Then, we'll start the surgery immediately, Huamin said. I heard that she's a criminal. Maybe we shouldn't save her. I don't think she'll survive, a doctor said casually. To his surprise, Huamin glanced at the doctor's face coldly. As a medical staff, how could you have such thoughts? Deputy Director, don't say anything else. Listen to me. Everyone, get ready. We'll start the surgery in 10 minutes. You guys stop the bleeding and give her oxygen. Then, Huamin took off his white coat and was about to go in and change into a sterile surgical gown. Huamin, suddenly, an ear-piercing scream was heard. Huamin turned around and saw Hua Yanyan. You came just in time. Hurry up and sign the papers so that we can operate on your mother, Huamin urged impatiently. Are you going to do it? Hua Yanyan glared at Huamin with hostility. Yes, I'll do it. Huamin nodded. She had checked Xianxia's condition just now. She was suffering from intracranial hemorrhage. The situation was very urgent. At this time, a delicate brain surgeon must perform the operation. However, it was still early, and the other excellent brain surgeons did not come to work at all. Even if they waited for them to arrive, it would be too late even if they were delayed by 30 minutes on the road. Therefore, Huamin decided to do it herself. There was no good or bad in front of a patient. Even if Xianxia was her enemy, she would try her best to save her. Then he would wait for the judgment of the law. Yes, Huamin was such a stubborn person. He was extremely serious about his work. If Mr. Qi knew that she was going to operate on Xianxia right now, he would be furious. Do you think I'll let you take advantage of this opportunity to kill my mother? Hua Yanyan sneered. Hua Yanyan, what do you mean by that? Huamin frowned slightly. He could hear the slander in Hua Yanyan's tone. Don't you know what I mean? We were going to go to court today, but you used despicable methods. First, you got Wang Jialai arrested, and then I had no lawyer. Then, you deliberately caused a car accident to kill my mother. Seeing that my mother didn't die, you sent her to South Side for surgery. Are you going to do whatever you want to her? Hua Yanyan's tone was vicious. So that's what you think? Huamin sneered. Isn't that right? You and your wife are scumbags to the core. You've got a good series of schemes, but aren't you afraid that you'll lose your virtue by doing this? Chapter 2849. Immoral? Hua Yanyan, what are you doing? Let me tell you, I'm a doctor. I'm not just treating your mother like this. Even if a heinous person was sent here today, I would still do the surgery and try my best to save him. As for whether he'll be executed or jailed after he wakes up, that has nothing to do with me. I only know that I'm a doctor, and I only do what I'm supposed to do. You're so great, Huamin. You're such a saint. Do you want me to write a poem to praise you? Do you want all the media to come here and praise you? You're noble, you're a good person, and you're the kindest person in the world, okay? Hua Yanyan, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Your mother's condition is critical. If she doesn't get the surgery in time, her life will be in danger. Don't try to scare me. I know all about your tricks. Don't even think about touching my mother. Let me tell you, even if she's a criminal, you have no right to judge her. Your mother has an intracranial hemorrhage. She's in critical condition. I want to transfer to another hospital. I won't let you touch her here. The first hospital and South Side belong to you. I want to transfer to the Third People's Hospital. Hua Yanyan confronted Huamin and wanted to transfer to another hospital. Are you kidding me? You want to transfer to another hospital at this time? I'm afraid she'll die in less than 5 minutes. Huamin was also furious. He really couldn't communicate with these people who didn't understand medicine. Don't try to scare me, I won't fall for it. To tell you the truth, I don't believe you. Didn't you say that my mother had to die that day? Your trap was really ruthless, but you wanted to do the surgery on my mother and take the opportunity to kill her. Then, when you came out, you'd say that you tried your best, but my mother still couldn't be saved, right? I didn't. Huamin was serious. Indeed, he didn't. In front of a patient, there was only a critical condition. Huamin didn't have time to think about other things. Let's not talk about this anymore. Hurry up and push my mother out. We want to transfer to another hospital. I'll deal with you guys later. Hua Yanyan stood at the door and yelled. Your mother is in no condition to be transferred to another hospital. If she moves, her life will be in danger, Huamin warned again. That's my business. Cut the crap. Give me the man or I'll call the police. Vice Principal, give it to her. This woman doesn't know what's good for her. She's courting death, so don't blame us. A few of Huamin's assistants, who were preparing for the surgery, consoled him in a low voice. Huamin really couldn't bear to see a person who could still be saved walk towards death. Can't you hear me? Huamin, do you want me to call the media here and expose your hospital? Look at how evil your doctors are. You're an idiot who doesn't know what's good for you. Hurry up and take your mother away. Our vice principal kindly wants to operate on her, but you don't appreciate it. Instead, you're here nagging. You're so fucking stupid. Get out of here. A male doctor couldn't stand it anymore and cursed at Hui Yanyan. Did you see that? This is the quality of the doctors at Southside, huh? Hui Yanyan felt even more superior. Vice principal, we can't do it anymore. We'll be the scapegoat. We have to give up on this surgery. Give her the man. The head nurse also tried to persuade Huamin. Hui Yanyan, if something happens to your mother, don't regret it. Don't blame me for not warning you. Huamin gritted his teeth angrily and looked at Hui Yan. Chapter 2850. I don't need you to remind me. Hurry up and hand her over. Hui Yanyan didn't trust Huamin at all. It was as if someone had cast a spell on her. She wanted Xianxia, vice director? The doctors wanted to say something. Give her the patient. Okay, we'll push her out now. The doctors were overjoyed to see Huamin relenting. They were afraid that the crazy woman in front of them would continue to make a fuss. Plus, if the operation failed, wouldn't the responsibility be even greater? Of course, they didn't know Huamin's real thoughts. They only thought that the vice director was being stubborn. After the paramedics pushed Xianxia out, Hui Yanyan immediately called for an ambulance to take them away. Hang in there. You'll be fine. Don't be afraid. Hui Yanyan was terrified to see her mother bleeding like a river. Huamin looked at their backs and sighed in a low voice. Xianxia was in a car accident. I wonder how the others are doing? Huamin suddenly thought of this serious problem. The others are all lightly injured. Xianxia was the most seriously injured. I heard that she was rear-ended. The policemen in front of her were only lightly injured. Huamin looked thoughtful. She picked up her phone and wanted to call Qin Chu. But she remembered that some things couldn't be said over the phone. It involved a lot of privacy and secrets, so she gave up the idea. But 10 minutes later, the bodyguards pushed open the door to Huamin's office. A young lady, Mr. Qin asked us to take you home. Now. Huamin was slightly surprised. But I'm at work. Huamin was shocked. We don't know. It's Mr. Qin's idea. Maybe he has something urgent to talk to you about, the bodyguard said. All right, wait for me. I'll come out once I'm done with this. No, sir said that we must leave immediately. A young lady, don't make things difficult for us, or we won't be able to keep our jobs. The bodyguard also knew that Huamin had a good heart, so he used this as an excuse. All right, let's go then. Although she didn't know why Qin Chu was looking for her, she guessed that something big must have happened since the bodyguard looked so serious. Huamin left Southside Recuperation Center in an RV led by the bodyguards. Hui Yanyan returned to Southside again and cursed at Huamin at the door. Huamin, come out. You and I are mortal enemies. It turned out that on the way to the transfer hospital, Hui Yanyan's mother, Xianxia, died because of intracranial hemorrhage. When they arrived at the Third People's Hospital, the doctor took her pulse and found that her pulse and heart were no longer beating. Her brain was also dead. It seemed that she had been dead for a few minutes, but Hui Yanyan didn't know about it. The doctor couldn't stand Hui Yanyan's crying and screaming. He tried to resuscitate her with electric shock, but there was no response. In the end, he announced that the patient was brain dead. Hui Yanyan couldn't accept this fact. She dragged her body back to the entrance of the First People's Hospital. Then she pushed all the blame onto Huamin. The commotion attracted many patients and family members to come over and watch. Xianxia's body was lying behind Hui Yanyan. It was a horrifying sight. The security guards of Southside came to disperse the crowd, but Hui Yanyan threatened to kill herself. Our deputy director made it very clear that he didn't want you to transfer to another hospital. He planned to resuscitate your mother, but you insisted on doing so. Now that your mother is dead, you come back to cause trouble. Are you trying to blackmail us? How can you do this? You're so immoral. One of Huamin's female doctors couldn't stand it anymore. She pointed at Hui Yanyan and scolded her. Chapter 2851. It's none of your business. Where's Huamin? Tell her to come out. I want her to give me an explanation. What explanation? You're being unreasonable and didn't listen to our advice. Now that she's dead, you're making a scene here. Disgusting. You guys go call the police. The female doctor pointed at the security guards. Soon, the police arrived. So what if you're the police? The doctor at Southside killed my mother on purpose. Where's the justice in this? Hui Yanyan said arrogantly. Ma'am, this isn't a place to make a scene. You're disrupting the order of the hospital. Come with us. Why should I go with you? You're disrupting public order. The hospital called the police. Do you know that? The police were annoyed. Don't you dare touch me. I'll sue you for molesting me. Hui Yanyan pretended to take off her clothes. The young police officers were so scared that they stepped back. No one dared to step forward, afraid of being blackmailed. Captain Ma, what should we do? Call the municipal bureau for help. The police officers could tell that Hui Yanyan wasn't an ordinary person. Since the victim was a felon, many people were involved. Half an hour after the police officers reported what happened, Gao Ran arrived with his team. Good timing. Aren't you a good friend of Chief Hua's? Did you guys really collude with each other? Hui Yanyan stared at Gao Ran and said sarcastically. Woman, you're really pushing your luck. Come, take her away, Gao Ran said angrily. What? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you taking me away? Hui Yanyan looked up at Gao Ran provocatively. You're disrupting the hospital. Do you know how much of an impact you've brought to the hospital and the patients by making a scene here? I don't know. I only know that Huamin and Qin Chu set up a series of schemes to kill my mother, Hui Yanyan insisted. You have to have evidence before you speak. You can't just slander me for no reason. Everyone, come and take a look. The chief of the Municipal Public Security Bureau is friends with that couple, so he's biased towards them. This society is really too dark. We commoners can't live. Hui Yanyan had even instigated everyone to stir up the relationship between the public and the police. Hui Yanyan, I've realized that you're really shameless, aren't you? Your mother is a felon. How can you say that she's an innocent commoner? Why didn't you tell everyone that your mother kidnapped someone else's child and wanted to kill the hostage? After Gao Ran finished speaking, the crowd began to point at Hui Yanyan. Oh, so she's the kidnapper's daughter? How scary. What are you waiting for? Take him away. If you dare to touch me, I'll sue you for molesting me. Hui Yanyan was about to take off her jacket and throw a tantrum again. You two go and take her to the police car. Take her body back to the Municipal Public Security Bureau and let Dr. Lin do an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Follow the legal procedures. At Gao Ran's command, 2 female police officers came out from behind him. They walked up to Hui Yanyan, grabbed her by the arm, and forced her into the police car. Shen Jiani's body was also taken away to be processed. This farce finally came to an end. At this moment, inside Iaxan's ramen, hubby, you called me here in such a hurry just to eat noodles with you? Huamin was brought to Iaxan's ramen behind Second High School by the bodyguard and the driver. Qin Chu was wearing a black short-sleeved shirt. He sat there with 2 bowls of noodles in front of him. It was obvious that he was waiting for Huamin. Hurry up and eat. It'll get cold soon. Qin Chu thoughtfully picked up a pair of chopsticks and handed it to Huamin. Honey, I skipped work to eat noodles with you. This isn't right. I have to go back. I still have a few surgeries to do. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 2852. Sit down first. Qin Chu waved his hand, his tone extremely gentle. Okay. Huamin knew that Qin Chu wasn't someone who would forcefully interfere with her work. At the very least, he wasn't someone who didn't know what was important. Therefore, she obediently sat down across from Qin Chu. Eat the noodles first. Good girl, if you have any questions, we can talk about them after we're full, Qin Chu comforted her. Okay. Looking at the steaming hot noodles, Huamin lowered her head and ate with relish. During this time, Qin Chu kept putting beef from his bowl into Huamin's bowl. Eat more, you've been working very hard recently. Huh, aren't you afraid that I'll become as fat as a pig? Huamin laughed. No, as long as you become as fat as a pig, then you won't attract so many people's attention. Qin Chu said in a very low voice. Huamin didn't hear him clearly. What did you just say, honey? Can you speak louder? Nothing, let's eat. Just like that, the couple sat in Xianxia's ramen and ate the steaming hot noodles. After Huamin finished the last mouthful of noodles in his bowl, he wiped the corners of his mouth with satisfaction and took a sip of soda. Honey, can you tell me now? Xianxia was in a car accident and was sent to your hospital, right? Yeah, right, I was about to ask you, was Xianxia's accident really an accident, or did you ask someone to do something to her? Huamin suddenly asked. If I told you that I asked someone to do it and hit her, would you hate me? Qin Chu looked at Huamin and asked seriously. Huamin, to be honest, Huamin didn't know how to answer Qin Chu's sudden question because he hadn't considered it before. Is it hard to answer? No, I'm just not mentally prepared. To be honest, if this was the old me, I might have thought it was wrong, but now, as the child's parents, I don't think you did anything wrong. If you want us to be merciful now, why didn't Xianxia and He Yongjun be merciful to us back then? If something happens to Little Bean and Pudding, it'll be too late for us to say anything. That's why I understand that you're a father who loves his daughter. Even if it's a little extreme or dishonorable, I'll still support you. Honey, I'm very happy that you can say that. I also know that you don't care about your identity and are willing to perform the surgery on her because there are no boundaries in front of patients. I can understand that, Qin Chu said. Hubby, am I too much of a saint? Huamin licked the corner of his mouth. No, it has nothing to do with Mother Teresa. As a qualified medical staff, perhaps this is the most basic duty. If I have to find a problem, it may be that my wife is too rigid, too pretentious. She does things too methodically. Wow, so many problems. Huamin laughed. But even with so many problems, Huamin is still the woman I love the most. Mr. Qin, is today a confession day? Is it okay for you to show off your love to me like this? Huamin looked at him with a red face and a smile. Qin Chu reached out his hand and gently placed it on the back of Huamin's hand. Mian, Xianxia is dead. Dead? Just now? Although she had expected this, she was still a little surprised. Just now? Qin Chu nodded. So, you were afraid that Hui Yanyan would come back to the hospital and cause trouble for me, so you got someone to get me out, right? Huamin suddenly understood why her husband did this. Chapter 2853. Yes. Hui Yanyan has lost her mind. As far as I know, she brought Xianxia's body to Southside to cause a scene. If you're there, it'll aggravate the situation. Plus, you're pregnant and shouldn't quarrel or face a corpse. I'm afraid it'll affect your mood. You don't have to worry about that. I'm not an ordinary girl. I'm a doctor. I see a lot of corpses every day and I'm used to it. It's just that Hui Yanyan is too emotional. She thinks that all her misfortunes are caused by us. She doesn't reflect on what she, her mother, and her brother have done to us and hurt us. So, in a sense, she's quite pitiful. I don't care if she's pitiful or not. I only care about you and the babies. To avoid these disputes, I hope you can take a week off to rest at home and spend time with the babies. Is that okay? I'm on vacation. Huamin was in a dilemma. Southside was busy every day and it wasn't wise for her to take a vacation at this time. However, looking at Qin Chu's big warm hand on the back of her hand, Huamin's heart softened. She was not a strong woman. She was not the kind of woman who would sacrifice her family for her career. Huamin felt that her greatest happiness in life was brought to her by her husband and children. No matter how strong a woman was, she would return to her family in the end. Therefore, even though she knew it wasn't very appropriate, Huamin still nodded obediently. Okay, honey. I'll call President Wu and ask for a week off. We'll talk about it after the storm blows over. Good girl. I'll give you a thumbs up. Qin Chu smiled from the bottom of his heart like a child. At the same time, he carefully pinched the tip of Huamin's nose with his fingertips. After eating noodles, the couple went back to South Hill Manor. The twins were eating fresh fruit in the living room. Little Bean was eating strawberries with her legs crossed and video chatting with Gaobui. She didn't care about her parents at all. Where's Grandpa and Grandma? He went fishing at a farmhouse. He said he was going to spend the night there, Pudding replied. Where's Auntie? Huamin asked. Auntie won't be home until 11 p.m. I think if she continues to hang out with Uncle Tang, she'll be eaten by him. She won't even be able to come back for the night. Mommy, you shouldn't have high hopes for Auntie, Little Bean interrupted. Huamin, Mommy, you're home early today. Pudding looked at the time on her phone and realized that her mommy rarely came home so early. That's right. From now on, your mommy will take a week off and stay at home to accompany you. Really? Little Bean tilted her head in disbelief. When have I ever lied to you? Huamin was so angry that he laughed. That's more like it. You should have done this a long time ago. Let me tell you, even though we know you're doing this for the little brother or sister in your belly, we're still happy to see Mommy on vacation, Pudding said sincerely. Really? Huamin said awkwardly. Really? The probability of seeing Mommy on vacation for a week is like seeing a meteor shower. No, it's more like a tornado. Let me think. Little Bean said excitedly. Forget it. If you keep talking like this, the end of the world will come. Your mommy is only on vacation for a week. So here's your reward. Hurry up and think about where you want to go. I'm free. Huamin took off his jacket and walked over. He sat between the twins and hugged one happily. Chapter 2854. Oh, that's great. Let me think. How about an 11-day trip to Germany, France, Italy, and Switzerland? Little Bean turned her head and asked excitedly. Come on, your mom only has 1 week off. Germany, France, Italy, and Switzerland? You're really daring. Huamin was speechless. Then let's go to the States. I didn't get enough last time. This time, we can go to Seattle or Florida. Little Bean suggested. No, the flight time to America is too long. I don't want to waste my vacation on the road. If you ask me, we can choose some islands that we can fly directly to, such as Bali, Phuket, Krabi, the Maldives, Saipan, and so on, Pudding said. Wait, are we the only ones going? Daddy, you're not going? Little Bean suddenly remembered the key person. You three finally remembered me. Why do I feel like my presence is getting weaker and weaker? Mr. Qin pursed his lips. Of course not. I love you very much, Daddy. Little Bean immediately flattered him. Between me and Boy, who do you like more? Mr. Qin was ruthless. Little Bean didn't know what to say. Do you even need to ask? Of course it's Gaobuyuan. Daddy, don't you feel hurt asking such a direct question? Pudding answered for Little Bean. Haha. Huamin laughed like an idiot. Don't talk nonsense. Sis, I didn't say that. Then do you dare to say that you love Daddy more? Gaobuyuan is listening over there. Pudding pointed at Little Bean's cell phone and reminded her. Sure enough, Gaobuyuan looked innocent and adorable on the other end of the screen. I like both of them. Little Bean finally chose not to offend either of them. Okay, my daughter has grown up. I'm heartbroken. Mr. Qin pretended to cover his chest with his hand and said sadly. Daddy, don't be sad. Since Little Bean betrayed you, you can leave the family property to me. For GK, I can stay single for the rest of my life. Pudding smiled. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're shameless. How can you fight for the family property so openly? Little Bean looked at her sister in disdain. Little Bean, don't swear. You're a girl, okay? Huamin pulled Little Bean's ear and scolded her. Ouch, it hurts? I got it, Mommy. I'll be more careful next time. Perhaps it was because he had been speaking too fluently recently. From time to time, he would blurt out a few vulgarities when he was agitated. Such a child was indeed not likable. However, Little Bean insisted that she wasn't a child at all. It was just that her mommy was too strict, so she still had to abide by the family rules. Just like that, Min came home early and played with the children until late into the night. She only changed into her pajamas and returned to the master bedroom after watching the twins fall asleep. "Hubby, I still have some documents to deal with. I've already prepared the water for you. Hurry up and take a shower. It's been a tiring day," Chin Chu said as he stared at the laptop. "All right." After Min carefully entered the bathroom, he was surprised to find that he had changed into a new pair of slippers. It used to be a picture of a bear, but now it was a picture of Minnie. Chin Chu also changed into Mickey Mouse slippers. They were a couple's pair. "Hubby, did you buy the slippers?" Min opened the bathroom door and couldn't help but ask. "Yeah." "Where did you buy them?" "They're so cute. Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse." "And they're a couple's pair?" Min was pleasantly surprised. However, Mr. Chin's words almost made her spit it out. Chapter 2855. I got it from Baodao. Mr. Chin threw out a sentence. You know how to shop online?" Min was in disbelief. "I thought it was fun. I saw it while browsing the web and thought you'd like it." "Haha, right? Online shopping is a good deal. This pair of matching slippers should be cheap, right?" Min really liked Chin Chu's thoughtfulness. After she got pregnant, Chin Chu secretly changed a lot of small decorations and daily necessities in their house. From air purifiers and water purifiers to non-slip slippers and natural skincare products for pregnant women, Chin Chu was full of love. It's not expensive. It's only about 500 yuan per pair." 500 yuan? Were you scammed?" Min was speechless. "I bought it on Disney's official website. Damn, why didn't you say so earlier?" Min pouted and angrily slammed the bathroom door shut. The huge bubble bath was already filled with water. Min lowered his head and reached out to touch the water. The temperature was just right, not too cold, not too hot. Most importantly, there were a lot of rose petals in the bath. The essential oils from before were all gone, leaving behind only natural handmade soap from a luxury brand. It seemed like Mr. Chin really put a lot of thought into this. A woman might not like a man because of how handsome, rich, or awesome he was. However, it was because of how much effort he put into it. No one could resist love from the heart. Just like Chin Chu. Over the years, whether it was when they were dating, when they got married, or when they reunited after so many years, everything he did for her was out of love. Even if it was a rock, it would probably be warm enough to warm it up. Min was comfortably soaking in the bath while listening to soft music. Chin Chu was in the master bedroom working on his laptop when Min's phone rang. Chin Chu picked it up and saw that it was a confirmation message for Huo Yanyan to add Min on WeChat. Chin Chu clicked the pass button. Then, without waiting for Huo Yanyan to speak, he quickly blacklisted her. That way, she wouldn't repeatedly add him. Following that, Chin Chu set Min's WeChat to prevent anyone from searching for him. In that case, Huo Yanyan wouldn't be able to use someone else's WeChat account or add a new WeChat account. As expected, on the other end, Huo Yanyan sent a long message to Min. Only then did he realize that his message had been rejected by the other party. "Blacklisting me? You're really something, huh?" Huo Yanyan sneered. Huo Yanyan knew that Xinjiani's car accident must have been planned by someone. Therefore, she had completely lost her mind. She could only find Min and say some extremely unpleasant things to him. In the afternoon, Gao Ran took her away and detained her for a few hours before releasing her. However, the corpse was still in the custody of the police. When Huo Yanyan went to South Side, she realized that the security had been increased. She couldn't even enter the lobby. When she went to look for Min's car, she realized that Min's car was no longer there. She had nowhere to vent her anger, which made her even more vicious. She added Min's WeChat account again but was blacklisted. To prevent her from harassing him, Chin Chu set Min's phone to only accept calls from people who were listed in his contact list. He rejected all other calls and texts. Huo Yanyan tried several times, but to no avail. Therefore, in a daze, she went to a nightclub and got drunk. Then, she called Shin Mingxi. The phone rang for a long time before Shin Mingxi picked it up. "Hello. His voice was a little hoarse. My mom is dead. Hui Yanyan only said these 4 words. Chapter 2856. After a moment of silence, Xianxia slowly said, I'm sorry for your loss. You guys must be happy now. Just did. I spent so much effort but couldn't save her. I'm not happy. You know I've never gloated over other people's misfortunes. I just wanted to tell you that there's a lot going on here, Xianxia corrected her. It's too late to say anything now. She's dead. You guys killed her. Hui Yanyan suddenly became agitated. Even at a time like this, you're still so stubborn. I really have nothing to say. Then, before Hui Yanyan could say anything, Xianxia hung up the phone. Hui Yanyan wanted to continue talking to Xianxia, but she suddenly heard the beeping sound of the phone being hung up. Damn it, how dare he hang up on me? Hui Yanyan was furious. She called again and again, but Xianxia didn't pick up. Because right now, Hui Yanyan had lost her rationality and logical thinking. Therefore, she wouldn't listen to anything Xianxia said. When Min came out of the shower, it was almost 11 p.m. She and Qin Chu went to bed and fell asleep in each other's arms. Maybe Qin Chu was too tired lately, but he quickly fell asleep. Min was bored, so she took out her phone to read the news, check Weibo, and browse forums. Suddenly, she received a private message from an unknown number. Min opened it and her expression changed. You really did everything you could to avoid me. You blacklisted me on WeChat right away. My phone is blocked. Min, are you a coward? After reading the message, Min didn't immediately ask who it was. Instead, she went to her WeChat blacklist to look for it. When she saw Hui Yanyan's name, she immediately knew what was going on. She didn't do it, so Mr. Qin must have helped her. Qin Chu had also set up the system to reject all calls and text messages. However, he did not expect that Hui Yanyan would still harass Min by registering an alternate account on Weibo. I'm not hiding from you. There's no need for me to hide from you. How is it not necessary? You've harmed my mother this time. You deliberately hired a drunk driver to cause the accident and even implicated the innocent. If this were to be exposed, I'm afraid your fake benevolence would also be exposed. What philanthropist? What white angel? It's all fake. Min, you disgust me. Hui Yanyan, I can understand that you're in a bad mood now that your mother is dead, but please don't bite others like a mad dog, okay? You don't have any evidence that my husband hired someone to do it. Even if you did, so what? Didn't your mother deserve to die? Your mother has hurt me a lot over the years. Ever since I was young, she bullied me and my mother. My mother, my brother, and I live a completely different life from yours. Now that you're not living a good life, you're blaming others. Why don't you blame yourself for not knowing how to reincarnate? Why don't you blame your mother for setting you and your brother up? How much pain do you have in your heart? You're the one who can't stand others living a good life, right? Min had always been eloquent. She didn't want to say too much before because she didn't think it was necessary. Now that things had come to this, she didn't have to care about Hui Yanyan's feelings anymore. Hui Yanyan wanted to retort, but she didn't know what to say. Hui Yanyan, remember, God is fair. God knows how many good and bad things a person has done in their life. It's not surprising that your mother ended up like this. I'm surprised that you didn't want to live a good life with Xianxia. Now, you're living a miserable life. Don't you think about your child? Min scolded. Chapter 2857. Stop lecturing me. To me, you're my enemy. I won't listen to you. I didn't ask you to listen to me. I just wanted to say that as a mother, you shouldn't think about your future. Instead, you're always going down a dead end. How stupid are you? Yeah, I'm stupid because I trusted you. I risked my life to save your child. I'm so stupid. Come on, who was the one who kidnapped them? Wasn't it Huasi? Can you get to the bottom of this? Min felt like she and Hui Yanyan were no longer on the same wavelength. Even communication was difficult. I don't care. Anyways, even if my mother dies, I won't let you guys have it easy. Fine, bring it on. I've never been afraid of you since I was a kid. I just feel sorry that Xianxia fell in love with a woman like you. Not only did you ruin your own happiness, but you also ruined his. Society is so realistic nowadays. There aren't many men who don't care about the fact that you're divorced and have a child. It's a pity that you ruined everything with your own hands. I don't need you to comment on my own matters. Shut up. Who do you think you are? Hui Yanyan was going crazy. I won't talk about it anymore. To me, you're already someone who has nothing to do with me. If you want to deal with me, come at me. I've never been afraid. As a pregnant woman, Hui Min's emotions weren't stable. Therefore, she kept arguing with Hui Yanyan on Weibo. Even though she was typing, her emotions were still fluctuating quite a bit. Hui Min was so angry that she logged out of Weibo and turned off her phone to sleep. She still had to start her vacation tomorrow. Hui Yanyan threw her phone into her bag and continued to drink, one glass after another. Finally, she lay on the table in a daze. Her head was splitting. I think she's Xianxia's mistress. Someone recognized her. Yeah, I've seen her a few times. Young Master Shen always brought her around. But I heard they broke up recently. Really? Is it because of the case? I think so. But it's rare for a woman to have such a good figure after giving birth. The men discussed among themselves and finally, they all left. Then, a bold man who had been eavesdropping on their conversation walked over to strike up a conversation. Hey, pretty lady, do you want a drink? Okay, let's have a drink. Fill my glass. Hui Yanyan held the glass in a daze. The man opened a bottle of wine and continued to pour him another full. In the end, Hui Yanyan was carried by the man and staggered out of the nightclub. Inside a hotel, the man carefully took off Hui Yanyan's clothes and took a picture of her, and then, by the time these photos were mailed to Xianxia's office the next day, they were already extremely unsightly. Xianxia's face was livid. At this moment, his phone rang. Hello? Mr. Shen, have you seen those photos? Who are you? You don't have to know who I am. I just want to ask if those photos of me and your woman last night look good. If they're published in the newspapers, you'll be embarrassed, right? After all, it doesn't feel good to be cheated on. What do you want? Simple, 5 million yuan. Transfer it to my account and I'll give you all the negatives. The man laughed evilly with a voice changer. Chapter 2858. In your dreams. I've already broken up with her. I don't care. You can do whatever you want, right? Then, Xianxia angrily hung up the phone, but after hanging up, he couldn't bear to see her like this. Wang, come in for a second. President Shen. The male assistant knocked on the door and came in. Go and check the caller ID for me. Do a thorough check. Yes. In the hotel suite, Hui Yanyan woke up in a daze with a terrible headache. When she opened her eyes, she realized that she was in an unfamiliar environment and was startled. Then, she looked down and realized that she was naked. You're awake? Or you? Hui Yanyan immediately pulled up the blanket and covered herself. Then, she angrily glared at the strange man. You forgot about me so quickly. You were very passionate last night. Bullshit. If you dare to do anything to me, I won't let you off the hook. Do you know who I am? Hui Yanyan panicked and used extreme anger to cover up the panic in her heart. Of course. I even sent the photos of our lovemaking to your sugar daddy. But your sugar daddy doesn't seem to care about you. I asked him to buy the photos for 5 million yuan, but he refused. What did you say? Hui Yanyan was completely dumbfounded. The man threw the photos in his hand at her. There were many unsightly images. You're quite impressive. You're divorced and have a kid, but you're still favored by Xianxia. He's a sugar daddy. You must have made a lot of money these years. What do you think? If he doesn't want to buy the photos, you can sell them yourself. I'll give you a discount 2 million yuan. The man smiled. After a moment of silence, Hui Yanyan rushed over and tore the man's face apart, ignoring the fact that she was naked. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. Bitch, what are you doing? You didn't do it willingly last night. I'm going to sue you for rape, bastard. I don't even know you. How dare you do this to me and threaten me? However, no matter what the man said, Hui Yanyan refused to listen. She tore at the man's clothes like a madwoman. In the end, the man flew into a rage out of humiliation. He pushed Hui Yanyan to the ground and beat her up. I thought you were a hot little pepper, but I didn't expect you to be a mad dog. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have fucking touched you. I let you have enough fun last night, and now you're turning your back on me? Bitch, I'll beat you to death. After the man kicked Hui Yanyan to the ground, he viciously kicked her body a few times. Not showing any mercy at all. If you want these photos, then hand over the money. Otherwise, I'll hand them over to the media and let the world know how you look. After saying that, the man spat on Hui Yanyan and walked away. Hui Yanyan squatted on the ground and sobbed. She really regretted drinking so much last night. Why did she go to such a place with all kinds of people? Now that something like this had happened, it was one disaster after another for Hui Yanyan. Her mother's body was still at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, and she was in trouble. She really wasn't in the mood to continue fighting. Not long after the blackmailing man left the hotel, his head was tied up and he was dragged into a van. President Shin, we've caught him. What should we do with him? The male assistant asked Shin Mingxi. Bring the photos back. Break his arms and legs, and throw them in the northern suburbs, Shin Mingxi ordered. Yes. Just then, Shin Mingxi's phone rang again. It was Hui Yanyan's home phone. To be honest, he really didn't want to pick it up. The current Hui Yanyan only made him feel disgusted. However, the phone kept ringing, which was also annoying. Hui Yanyan, what do you want? Shin Mingxi asked bluntly. Chapter 2859. Uncle Shin, I'm Dunan. Dunan. Shin Mingxi's heart softened when he heard the child's tender voice. Uncle Shin, do you know where Mommy is? Shin Mingxi then remembered that Hui Yanyan was with a strange man last night and had her picture taken. She was definitely not at home. I don't know. What's wrong? I called her, but I couldn't get through. Her phone was turned off. I'm so hungry. I didn't eat anything this morning, and no one took me to school. Are you home alone? Shin Mingxi asked worriedly. Where's Auntie? Shin Mingxi remembered that there used to be a nanny at home who took care of him and his daughter. Mommy chased Auntie away. Mommy's been in a bad mood lately. She always throws tantrums. I'm scared. Tian, wait at home. Don't run around. I'll pick you up. 'Kay, I'll be good. Come quickly, Uncle. Shin Mingxi took the phone and called Hui Yanyan again. As expected, her phone was turned off. This woman is crazy. Doesn't she care about her own child? Shin Mingxi angrily rushed downstairs. At Hui Yanyan's house, Shin Mingxi saw Hui Yanyan's daughter, Tian. The little girl's hair was disheveled. She sat on the sofa and ate the remaining half of a bag of biscuits. She looked so pathetic that Shin Mingxi's heart ached for her. Uncle Shin. Seeing Shin Mingxi come in, Tian ran over. She hugged Shin Mingxi's leg. Why are you eating these? Shin Mingxi frowned slightly. I only have these at home. I'm hungry. Stop eating. Let's go. I'll take you out to eat good food. Okay. The little girl was overjoyed. Shin Mingxi drove Tian to the styling studio and asked someone to braid her hair. Then he took her to the mall and bought 2 sets of clothes. After she changed, Shin Mingxi asked her, What do you want to eat? Can we go to Pizza Hut? Uncle, I want to eat chicken wings. Sure. Shin Mingxi stopped the car in front of a Pizza Hut in the city center upon hearing the child's small request. She brought Tian in and ordered a table. Tanan, your mother, hasn't she been coming home lately? Yes. The little girl nodded. Then how will you come back after school? I stayed at the kindergarten and waited for Mommy to pick me up, but she always went very late. There was once when she didn't go the whole night. The teacher brought me to stay at her house. The little girl said as she gnawed on a chicken wing. Shin Mingxi's heart ached for her. She was such a young child, yet she had to follow Hui Yanyan from one place to another. This was a typical case of not living a good life. Uncle Shin, I want to go somewhere this weekend. Where would you like to go? I want to go play with Little Bean and Pudding. I haven't seen them in a long time. Also, Auntie Huimin is very nice to me. Every time I go to her house, she bakes us cakes and makes ice cream. Shin Mingxi fell silent. Given the current situation, Tian definitely could not go to South Hill Manor. He would definitely not be welcomed. The two sisters might not be free. I'll take you to the aquarium this weekend, okay? Shin Mingxi coaxed her. Okay. I like dolphin babies. The little girl was easy to coax. Huiyanyan wandered outside. When she returned home, she found that the baby was gone. She called the kindergarten, but the baby was not there. She panicked. She was about to call the police when she remembered that she had checked the surveillance records of the neighborhood. When she saw that Shin Mingxi had taken her daughter away, she heaved a sigh of relief. Then, Huiyanyan dialed Shin Mingxi's number. Hello. Where have you taken my daughter? Her tone was interrogative, accusatory. Chapter 2860. I brought her to eat at Pizza Hut. Who asked you to be a good person? Why do you have to take care of my daughter? Who do you think you are? Huiyanyan, I don't want to argue with you. I'm doing this for Tian. Tian is my daughter. Don't be a hypocrite. Send her back to me right now, or I'll call the police. Huiyanyan sounded determined. Okay, I'll send her back right away. Shin Mingxi didn't want to argue with her. He hung up the phone and looked at Tian, who was enjoying her food. Tian, are you full? Not yet. Then let's take some home, okay? Mommy's home and wants to see you, Shin Mingxi coaxed Tian. Okay. The child was well behaved. She didn't cry or throw a tantrum and followed Shin Mingxi into the car. At the entrance of Huiyanyan's house, Mommy, Uncle Shin brought me to eat good food. Who told you to eat? From now on, you're not allowed to eat anything from this man. He has nothing to do with us anymore. Then, Huiyanyan reached out and knocked over the bag of chips and chicken wings in the child's hands. Boo! Tian's chicken wings are gone. The child cried sadly. Huiyanyan, what are you doing? How can you treat your own daughter like this? Don't you have a conscience? Shin Mingxi was furious. I don't have a conscience? I wonder who's the one who's trying to draw a line with me because she's afraid of offending people. Huiyanyan mocked. I told you I didn't. If your mother is innocent, I'll help her until the end. It's not because I don't want to offend people. Can you please find out the truth? The truth? The truth is, Shin Mingxi, you ungrateful bastard. Huiyanyan, was blind to sleep with you and let you play with me for so long. In the end, when I was in trouble, you ran away faster than anyone else. This is the man I love. Forget it, I'm too lazy to talk to you anymore. Since the child has been sent home, then I've completed my mission. You're on your own now. With that, Shin Mingxi turned to leave. He had only taken 2 steps when he suddenly thought of something and threw the paper bag in his hand on the ground. I got those photos back for you, and I taught that person a lesson for you. But I want to warn you that you're a mother now. If you're despised by others, Tian won't be able to survive in kindergarten. She'll be pointed at and criticized for the rest of her life. I don't want that to happen to her. This is the last time I'm helping you, and I'm doing it for the sake of our child. In the future, I hope you'll think twice before you do anything. As a woman and a mother, you have to behave yourself. Then, Shin Mingxi strode out of Huiyanyan's place. Huiyanyan squatted on the ground and opened the craft paper bag with trembling fingers. When she saw the unbearable images, she felt endless sorrow in her heart. It seemed like there was no turning back. Things would only get worse and worse. Mommy, Tian likes Uncle Shin a lot. Today, Tian was scared to be alone at home. I called Mommy, but I couldn't get through, so I called Uncle Shin. Uncle Shin drove over to pick me up, bought me new clothes, took me to braid my hair, and even took me to eat delicious chicken wings. The child said word by word. However, every word was like a knife cutting into her heart. Why did Huiyanyan say such vicious things to Shin Mingxi? Because this time, he didn't do anything, and that was only one of the reasons. Most importantly, she knew that no matter what, there was no turning back between them. There was no turning back. On the way back, Shin Mingxi felt a slight pain in his heart. Every time he saw Huiyanyan, the beautiful memories of the past would surface in his heart. Suddenly, a big truck honked across the road, but it was too late for him to brake. Chapter 2861. 20 minutes later, Su Yu's WeChat moments exploded with messages. Urgent news, young Master Shin got into a car accident at the intersection of Sanjiang Road and is being treated in the first hospital's emergency room. Rh-negative panda blood is urgently needed to save his life. Thank you so much for your help, please forward the message. The Shin family is asking for panda blood at a high price. Tang Chuan was at Su Yu's mansion, competing with him in a swimming competition. The two of them were wearing dark blue trunks. Their muscles were on full display. After getting out of the water, the two of them rested on the chairs and drank iced beer. They were relaxed and carefree. Tang Chuan was addicted to his phone, so whenever he had time, he would read the news and check his WeChat moments. Fuck, something happened. What happened? What's the big deal? Su Yu was exhausted from swimming, so he closed his eyes and didn't want to talk. Shen Mingxi got into a car accident. What did you say? Su Yu opened his eyes and sat up from the chair. It's true, Wei and the others are reposting it. It can't be fake. Wait a second, I'll ask them. Then, Tang Chuan immediately dialed a friend's number and verified it. After asking a few questions, Tang Chuan hung up, his expression grim. It's true, something happened. Where is he? He's being treated at the first hospital. It said that he got into a car accident at the intersection of Sanjiang Road. It's pretty serious and we don't know if he's still alive. But the worst thing is that Rh-negative panda blood is urgently needed. This blood type is crazy, and there aren't many of them in the country. What should we do? The first hospital is running out of stock. If they can't supply it, his life might be in danger. I'll forward it. Tang Chuan immediately copied the message and reposted it on his WeChat moments. Su Yu immediately took out his phone and called Huamin. Mian. What do you need, President Su? Huamin was watching cartoons with the twins at home and didn't notice the news. Let me ask you, does south side of panda blood? Rh-negative blood. Huamin was stunned. Yes, it's you, HK negative. Su Yu was also dumbfounded. It's Rh-negative, right? Huamin corrected. Yes. It's that Rh-negative. Do you have it in the southern district? What do you want to do? Huamin asked curiously while eating the orange. Shen Mingxi just got into a car accident and is being treated at the first hospital. This blood type is urgently needed. What? Shen Mingxi was in a car accident? Huamin asked in surprise. Oh no, there's no more at South Side. We used to have some in stock, but the day before yesterday, there was a young girl who had a congenital heart transplant and the surgery used it all up. Most hospitals don't have this type of blood in stock. No hospital in the country dares to stock up, so we can only rely on everyone to donate. Hurry up and contact the media and ask everyone to donate. All right, I got it. After hanging up the phone, Su Yu immediately walked into the villa. Where are you going, Lord Su? I'm going to the hospital to see him. But we don't have panda blood. We won't be able to do anything even if we go. Tang Chuan frowned. Still, we have to go. It's better than staying here. Then, Su Yu drove Tang Chuan to the first hospital in his black Lamborghini. Outside the emergency room, other than the Shin family, there were also some of Shin Mingxi's friends. The small corridor was filled with dozens of people. Mr. Su is here. Someone in the crowd shouted, and everyone turned to look at Su Yu. President Su, do you have panda blood? The Shin family thought Su Yu was here to donate blood and rushed over to grab Su Yu's arm. Chapter 2862. I'm not. Su Yu raised his hand and rubbed the tip of his nose awkwardly. Hearing Su Yu's denial, the Shen family was once again disappointed. What should I do? Someone save my son. Shen Mingxi's mother cried so hard that she almost fainted. She was supported by two young women. Just then, Su Yu received a WeChat message. It was from Huamin. Huamin, Lord Su, where are you? Su Yu, the first hospital. Huamin, how's young Master Shin? Su Yu, he's still in the emergency room, but it doesn't look good. He seems to be in urgent need of Rh-negative blood. Huamin, it happened so suddenly. I almost forgot that my brother, and I Yang, has Rh negative blood. Su Yu, what? And I Yang? That's great. Huamin, yes. So, I wanted to ask you if anyone donated blood. If not, I can contact an I Yang. Su Yu, then hurry up. The Shen family is worried sick that no one is coming. Huamin, okay. I'll contact you later. Su Yu, okay. 3 minutes later, Huamin sent another WeChat message. Huamin, bad news. And I Yang isn't here. Jie said he went to Seoul with a few friends. He'll be back in 5 hours at the earliest. Su Yu, 5 hours? He won't make it. Huamin, then what should we do? I'm in a hurry. You see, Su Yu, don't worry. They'll be away. It's a big city and there's a reward of 1 million yuan. Don't worry. Huamin, okay. Let me know if you have any news. Su Yu, okay. After sending the WeChat message, Su Yu looked up and saw some noise in the crowd. Someone shouted, Wei Ying is here. Su Yu looked over and saw Wei Ying walking over in white sportswear and a black baseball cap. Since it was already late, Wei Ying must have been in a hurry to put on her makeup, so she didn't have any makeup on. But the strange thing was that she looked much better without makeup than with makeup. It was Su Yu's first time seeing Wei Ying with such a clear face. Uncle Auntie, how is Mingxi? Wei Ying asked. Not good. Mrs. Shen covered her face and cried. At this moment, Wei Ying looked up and saw Su Yu looking at her. Wei Ying nodded slightly and greeted Su Yu. Brother Su Yu. Did you come from home? Where's your brother? Su Yu asked. I didn't come from home. I went to the hot springs in Jing County with my friends. When I saw the news on my WeChat moments, I immediately drove back. Thank you for coming back to see Mingxi at this time. The Shen family is sorry, Mrs. Shen said. It was known that Shen Mingxi had insisted on divorcing Wei Ying because Hui Yanyan was the third party. So, although Wei Ying had a bad temper, she didn't do anything outrageous. Because of this, the Shen family and the Wei family were still at odds. Shen Mingxi's parents had always felt sorry for Wei Ying. After all, their son had ruined the reputation of a girl from a prestigious family. Auntie, it's not the time to talk about this. Take me to the doctor. I want to donate blood. Donate blood. Mrs. Shen was surprised. Auntie, I have Rh negative blood, just like Mingxi. Wei Ying smiled slightly. Hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded. Chapter 2863. Mrs. Shen was too shocked to speak. Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi had been dating for a long time and then got married, but no one knew that Wei Ying also had Rh negative blood. Even Su Yu was stunned. Fuck? Are you serious? I never heard that old Wei has Rh negative blood. Tang Chuan was also dumbfounded. Wei Ying and Wei Liao were biological siblings, but Wei Liao didn't have Rh negative blood. Who said that the whole family must have Rh negative blood? You don't know shit. Su Yu looked at Tang Chuan in disdain. You're wrong. It's not that I don't know anything. What do I know? Tang Chuan chuckled. Wei Ying's timely arrival solved the emergency, and everyone let out a sigh of relief. Who's here to donate blood? Come with me. Doctor, how much blood do you need? I brought a friend with me. Wei Ying pulled on a fashionably dressed beauty behind her. It depends on the details. All of you come in first. Okay. Wei Ying and her friend changed into their clothes and went in to draw blood. The group of people finally calmed down. Shit. I didn't expect the plot twist. Wei Ying is here to donate blood. I thought she'd never see Shen Mingxi again. Tang Chuan gossiped in a low voice. Wei Ying has a bad temper and a bad mouth, but she really loves young Master Shen. Otherwise, she wouldn't have done everything for him all these years. Although they're divorced now, a day together as husband and wife means endless devotion to each other. Even a woman wouldn't be so heartless. Of course, Hui Yanyan is an exception, Su Yu said. Fuck, speaking of Hui Yanyan, I'm so angry. Young Master Shen's car accident is most likely related to her. I heard that young Master Shen left her house and got into a car accident on his way home. I'm sure that bitch said something to young Master Shen that triggered him. Otherwise, how could something like this happen when he's driving so steadily and not drunk? If something really happens to young Master Shin, I think that slut Hui Yanyan should also be arrested and beaten up. Hui Yanyan is indeed. Forget it, I'm not going to comment. I'm too lazy to talk about it. Su Yu leaned against the wall of the corridor. He took out his phone and sent a WeChat message to Huamin to report the situation. Su Yu, calling Dr. Hua. Huamin, yes. Su Yu, young Master Shin can be saved. Someone is here to donate blood. Guess who it is? Huamin, give me a hint. The range is too wide and I can't guess. Su Yu, it's someone you can't even dream of. It's the least likely person to be her. Huamin was silent for 3 seconds. Then he replied to Su Yu with 2 words, Weighing? Su Yu, fuck? Did you really guess or did Tang Chuan tell you? Huamin, I swear no one told me. Su Yu, then how did you guess so accurately? Huamin, because you said it was the least likely person. Su Yu, I thought you would say Hui Yanyan. She's also the least likely person. Su Yu was puzzled. Huamin, I know Hui Yanyan's blood type. It's not Rh negative. Su Yu, I see. Smart Dr. Hua. I admit defeat. Huamin, it's really weighing? Anyway, it's good to be able to save him. Su Yu, yeah. We're all relieved. If anything happened to the kid, we'd be sad too. After all, we grew up together. This time, Su Yu and Shin Mingxi were much closer after they made up. They weren't as distant as before. In the emergency room, after donating 200 cubic centimeters of blood, Wei Ying felt dizzy and lay weakly on the bed. Her friend had also donated 200 cubic centimeters of blood. Since they were both thin and weak girls, 200 cubic centimeters of blood was a lot. No, Dr. Wang. 400 isn't enough. We need 200 cubic centimeters more, another doctor reminded him hurriedly. Chapter 2864. More? No, it's not enough. There are only 2 girls and they're both very light and slightly anemic. I can only draw 200 cubic centimeters at most. Then what should we do? The doctors were also anxious for a moment. Hearing their words, Wei Ying struggled to get up. Then she said in a weak voice, Doctor, draw my blood. I can still. No. You're at your limit. With your current condition, you can only draw 200 cubic centimeters. More than that will put a heavy burden on you. Your body won't be able to take it. It's okay. I can do it. I'm thin, but I'm strong. Wei Ying squeezed out a smile. Let's think of another way, the doctor denied. Doctor, it's more important to save people. This is my ex-husband. Although we're divorced, he's still the man I love the most. If anything happens to him, I don't want to live anymore. So please draw my blood. Wei Ying said with tears in her eyes. She wasn't pretending. She was speaking from the bottom of her heart. Shen Mingxi was unconscious and couldn't hear her. The Shen family was outside the door and didn't know. The fact that Wei Ying said these words at this critical moment showed how deep her love for Shen Mingxi was. But the doctors seemed to be in a difficult position. They were afraid of taking responsibility. No buts. I'll take responsibility for the consequences. I can sign a guarantee, okay? Wei Ying begged again. Then we'll draw more. But if you don't feel well, you must tell us immediately and we'll stop, okay? The doctor trembled. No problem. Seeing the doctor agree, Wei Ying stood up unsteadily and walked over to draw her blood. The needle pierced through Wei Ying's blurry blood vessels again. She only felt a slight sting like a mosquito bite. But with the loss of blood in her body, she was very tired. Wei Ying felt dizzy and had motion sickness. She wanted to throw up but couldn't. She felt sleepy and wanted to sleep, but she didn't make a sound. Finally, she forced herself to let the doctor draw 200 cubic centimeters of her blood. You're so brave. Your husband, no, your ex-husband will be touched when he wakes up. The doctor praised Wei Ying. There's no need for that. I just want him to be safe and sound just like before. There's no need to be touched. Wei Ying carefully rolled up her sleeves. As soon as she stood up, she blacked out and fell to the ground. This lady? Frightened, the doctors hurriedly helped Wei Ying onto the bed. Then he took his blood pressure and did a checkup. He's all right. He's just bleeding too much. He needs more sleep and rest to replenish his blood. The doctor said. Push him out and let the family members outside take care of him. We'll continue with the surgery. All right. When the two nurses wheeled Wei Ying out, the people outside the door swarmed toward her. Humans were selfish after all. The Shen family came over and asked, "How's my son?" "The patient's life is no longer in danger," the doctor said. The Shens breathed a sigh of relief. "You must thank this lady. With her frail body, donating 200 yuan was already her limit. But just now, knowing that we were short of blood, she forced herself to donate another 20 yuan. She exceeded her limit and fainted. She sacrificed the most, so please take good care of her." After the doctor finished speaking, everyone fell silent. Chapter 2865. No one would have thought that Wei Ying, the arrogant young lady of the Wei family, would risk her life like this. How much did she love Shenmingshi that she was willing to suffer so much to save him? Wei Ying is a hero, Tang Chuan said. Wei Ying would be furious if he knew. You know, Wei Ying thinks his sister shouldn't be so cheap as to fall in love with young Master Shen, Suyu said. Love is a magical thing. You can't say it's cheap, right? Take me and Qi Ning for example. If I didn't take the initiative, I wouldn't have won her heart. Love is a game of one pretending to be reserved and the other shameless. But if one day the shameless one leaves first, the one pretending to be reserved will die of sadness. This is the true meaning of love. It's a double-edged sword. It hurts the enemy 1,000 times but hurts the self 800 times. Suyu, forget it. I shouldn't discuss such a profound philosophical question with a single man like you who doesn't even have a girlfriend. Fuck off, Suyu scolded. Mrs. Shen followed the nurse and walked Wei Ying to the ward next door. Nurse, when will she wake up? Mrs. Shen asked. It's hard to say. The girl donated too much blood and might sleep for a whole night. Your son is lucky. He survived a great disaster. Then the nurse walked out of the ward with a smile. Mrs. Shen had mixed feelings. When the Shen family and the Wei family got married, many people thought it was just a business marriage. The Shen family thought so as well since the Wei family was more famous and wealthy than the Shen family. Therefore, the marriage with the Wei family had many benefits. But they didn't expect Wei Ying to fall in love with Shenmingshi. Maybe it was because she loved him too much and was too afraid of losing him that Wei Ying had been so insecure. She had been pushing Shenmingshi too hard and didn't give him any personal space. Plus, Hui Yanyan used some dirty tricks to destroy the marriage. Shenmingshi hated Wei Ying so much that he didn't even want to look at her. It had taken a long time for Wei Ying to disappear from the scene after the initial fight. Because of this, the Wei family broke off all business relations with the Shen family. Wei Liao and Shenmingshi were like fire and water. Basically, they didn't even have the chance to meet. But to Mrs. Shen's surprise, Wei Ying came back when they needed her the most. When he was outside, he heard from the girl who came back with Wei Ying. They had been enjoying a hot spring in Jing County, but when Wei Ying heard the news, she immediately put on her clothes and rushed back. Together with her, who also had Rh-negative blood, the two of them ran at 120 miles per hour on the highway. When they entered the city, they also ran all the red lights. He sped all the way to the hospital. In the girl's words, Wei Ying was crazy. Suyu felt that he should let Wei Liao know about this, so he called Wei Liao and briefly told him about it. In less than 20 minutes, Wei Liao and Jiang Shaowei arrived. President Wei, young Master Wei, many people took the initiative to greet Wei Liao, brother Wei, sister-in-law, young Master Wei, you're here too. Tang Chuan waved at him from a distance. Wei Liao walked up to Suyu. Lord Su, where's Wei Ying? Wei Liao's face was cold. In that ward. She's unconscious, Suyu added. Without a word, Wei Liao walked toward the ward. Wei Liao, you're here? Mrs. Shen looked embarrassed. I'm here to take my sister away. Wei Liao didn't treat Mrs. Shen nicely. She's unconscious and can't leave now. She needs to rest. So you think she's an artificial blood bag? How many more times do you want to use my stupid sister before you're satisfied? You're the most cunning people in the world. We're all stupid, right? Wei Liao questioned Mrs. Shin. Chapter 2866. Wei Liao, I understand how you feel. I'm really grateful that Ing came back and saved Mingxi's life, Mrs. Shin said politely. A scumbag like Shin Mingxi shouldn't have been saved. I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have asked my sister to come. The Wei family has never owed you anything. My old man said he doesn't want to have anything to do with the Wei family as long as he lives. That's it. With a livid face, Wei Liao picked up Wei Ing from the bed. Slightly pull out the 4 drip. Wei Liao turned his head and looked at his wife. Let's wait until Ing wakes up. Jiang Xiaowei tried to persuade him. Can she walk when she wakes up? Are you sure she won't die from the blood transfusion? Wei Liao asked coldly. Jiang Xiaowei had been married to Wei Liao for years, and Wei Yunchu was already a few years old. They had always been close to each other, although their love for each other wasn't as earth-shattering as that between Qin Chu and Huamin. But in the past few years, Wei Liao had been very good to Jiang Xiaowei. She had always been the one who called the shots in the family. It was the first time he had dissed his wife in public, but Jiang Xiaowei knew it wasn't Wei Liao's fault this time. The war between the Shin family and the Wei family had shocked many media outlets. It was still fresh in people's minds. Wei Liao had always been a low-key person, but he had been pushed to the center of attention. Therefore, the breakup of Wei Ing and Shin Mingxi's marriage hurt not only Wei Ing but also all the members of the Wei family. During that time, the Wei family's stock price had plummeted. Now that she thought about it, it was a dark past. Let's go. Jiang Xiaowei didn't insist. She gently removed the 4 from the unconscious Wei Ing and quietly followed behind Wei Liao. Wei Liao held Wei Ing in his arms, his face livid. On the way out, he stopped for a moment when he passed by Su Yu and Tang Chuan. Su Yu rubbed his nose, not knowing what to do. I'll leave first. I'll contact you later. Wei Liao said. All right. Su Yu nodded. They had been buddies for so many years, so they had a tacit understanding of each other. 10 minutes after Wei Liao left, Su Yu and Tang Chuan also left after seeing that Shin Mingxi was out of danger. The relatives and friends who came to visit also left one after another. Only the direct descendants of the Shin family were left in the hospital. Madam, you should go back first. You're old and your blood pressure is high. It'll be dangerous if you don't sleep well. Young master has us here. The maids took turns to persuade Madam Shin. No. I want to see him wake up with my own eyes. Madam Shin held her son's hand tightly and looked at him without blinking. Old Mr. Shin was supported by his assistant. Seeing that his son was fine, he left in the middle of the night. When Su Yu got home, Little Bean sent him a video call on WeChat. Hello, Little Bean. What's up? Su Yu chuckled. Can't I call you for nothing? Of course you can. What's up? You don't sound right. Did your sister beat you up? Su Yu asked with a chuckle. Am I that low? Look at my weight. She can't beat me, Little Bean bragged. What are you doing? Su Yu asked. My mommy asked me to send it to you. Maybe she misses you. Little Bean began to talk nonsense. Get out of here. Don't talk nonsense. Su Yu blushed. At this moment, Huamin took over the video call. She was wearing a very simple half-sleeve dress. It was very conservative and had English letters on it. It gave people the feeling of a breeze. You're home? How's the situation at the hospital? I heard from Xiaowei that Mr. Wei was very angry. Huamin asked softly. Chapter 2867. Don't mention it. I've known young Master Wei for many years, but it's the first time I've seen him so angry. When we were kids, I accidentally kicked him in the crotch, but he was never like this. I was scared to death. Su Yu said exaggeratedly. Huamin was exasperated. Can we have a nice chat, Lord Su? Of course. So, what's the situation now? Wei Ying transfused 400 drops of blood to turn the tide. I didn't know that the wild girl would risk her life for a man. Wei Ying? That skinny girl donated 400 blood? Huamin was surprised. In Huamin's impression of Wei Ying was that she was quite thin. Like celebrities, these socialites ate diet meals every day to maintain their figures. Do you think she really ate the food pictures she posted on her WeChat moments? That would be a big mistake. She just wanted to look good in the pictures, so, with Wei Ying's figure, donating 400 blood was quite scary. This was because a normal man would feel dizzy after donating 400 grams of blood. Some people said that after donating blood, the blood could be remade. It wasn't like there was no blood left. But platelets needed time to produce blood and couldn't be restored to full blood instantly. Did you think this was a game? So, Huamin was quite surprised. The doctor kept saying that the girl had a hard time. Indeed, Wei Ying is unconscious and is on a nutrient drip in the ward next door. I don't know where young Master Wei heard the news and came in a fury. He scolded Mrs. Shen and left with the unconscious Wei Ying in his arms. I can imagine this scene. It's indeed scary. Young Master Wei is such a refined man. When he gets angry, he's quite scary, right? Huamin said. That's quite scary. I'm shaking with fear. Don't talk nonsense. Huamin scolded with a smile. Have you had dinner? Su Yu asked. Look at the time. Bro, what did you have for dinner? Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Aren't you pregnant? Don't pregnant women have good appetites? I don't think it's a problem for you to eat 2 pots a day, right? Do you think I'm a pig that eats animal feed? 2 basins per meal? I'm only in the early stages of pregnancy. Sometimes, I'll vomit when I smell something pungent. How can I eat it? How miraculous! Another little life is about to be born. Su Yu thought about Huamin becoming a mother again. It was quite emotional. The difference between the Huamin now and the Huamin 4 years ago was like heaven and earth. 4 years ago, Huamin lost Qin Chu, and her life was worse than death. She even suffered from prenatal depression and wanted to commit suicide. Every day, he had a lot on his mind. Now, Huamin had a daughter, a husband, and a family. She was so happy that Su Yu was happy for her. Even though, there was still a sense of loss in the depths of his heart. Dr. Hua, this time, what gift should I give you when you give birth to Heir Bao? Lord Su is so generous. You can give me Imperial Star as a gift. When he grows up, he can hook up with any female celebrity. You make it sound like you'll definitely give birth to a son. Su Yu also laughed. Are you giving it to me or not? If you give birth to a son, I'll give it to you. It's just a company, no big deal, Lord Su boasted. Hey, handsome Su, we heard that. We'll remember it for mommy and little brother. Don't go back on your word when the time comes, okay? Little Bean poked her little head out from behind Huamin and stuck her tongue out at Su Yu. You girls were sent by the Jade Emperor to bankrupt me, right? Su Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. At this moment, the door opened. Honey, come here. Let me show you something, Qin Chu said to Huamin. Chapter 2868. Oh, okay. After answering, Huamin turned to look at Su Yu. I'll hang up now. What does your husband want to show you? I'm curious. Su Yu asked. Curiosity killed the cat. Huamin replied in a melodramatic manner. Talking to you is exhausting. Sleep early, pregnant Dr. Hua. Bye. After hanging up, Huamin stood up and walked out. Mommy, if Daddy sees you and handsome Su flirting with each other, he'll spank you. Little Bean said in all seriousness. It's okay. I'll tell your daddy that you helped me send this video to Su Yu. Huamin smiled. Mommy, you're so unethical. How could you betray me? Little Bean rolled her eyes. Why would a person like you need to be betrayed? You could have just sold yourself. You're the most valuable person in the family, Pudding interrupted. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're insulting me again. Little Bean glared at her sister in dissatisfaction. So, you're going to talk to your Gao Buyuan again? Pudding was jealous. This time I'm changing my strategy. I'm going to talk to your Wei Yunchu and let him see the true colors of your evil sister. I don't want him to be charmed by you. Then, Little Bean turned around and ran downstairs. Pudding was left alone in front of the second-floor bedroom door, confused. Inside the master bedroom, "Honey, what are you showing me?" Huamin walked over and hugged Qin Chu's neck coquettishly. "Look at this." Qin Chu took out a black card with golden edges. Huamin opened it curiously and saw 2 words written on it: invitation. She looked down and saw the wedding photos of Wuxia and Xianxia. Wuxia still had that kind of faint smile on his face, which made people who looked at him panic. Xianxia, on the other hand, did not have her usual blissful smile. She held onto Wuxia's arm, and her movements seemed a little stiff. The smile on his face was also strange. It was a fake smile. Then, there was a small line of words below. "The 2 of us have been in love for so many years, and we finally plan to end our long-distance love and enter the fairy tale castle of marriage together. We will live hand in hand and grow old together, sailing together through thick and thin." And this happy moment required the blessings and witness of all his friends and family. The wedding ceremony of Mr. Wuxia and Miss Huamin will be held tomorrow at the Peony Hall of the Billy Lake 7-Star Hotel. Mr. Qin Chu and Ms. Huamin will be present as witnesses. Holding the invitation, Huamin sneered, "Heh, what kind of show is this? Marriage, of course. Isn't he getting married again?" Qin Chu put his hands behind his back and hugged Huamin's waist. "He's getting married for the 2nd time, but he's still so high profile. What a joke. Everyone says that Lord Su is a show-off, but I think he's nothing compared to Wuxia," Huamin commented. "No, I think he did it on purpose this time. There must be a conspiracy behind the wedding." Even if Zhang Manlin didn't say it, Qin Chu knew that if Wuxia wanted to marry Zhang Manlin, he would have done it 3 years ago. He wouldn't have waited until today. So, this wedding was just a smokescreen. But he's shameless enough to do this. The whole world knows that we're like fire and water, and we can't stand on the same side. How could he have the nerve to send an invitation? Seriously? Huamin sighed. He doesn't care if we attend or not. He just wants to show off. Qin Chu said, "Honey, what should we do? Do we really have to go?" Huamin frowned. He felt like a big battle was right in front of him. It could happen at any moment. Chapter 2869. Of course. Why wouldn't I go? I'm going to the Hongmen banquet. Qin Chu turned around and stood up. Then, he gently kissed Huamin's forehead with love and tenderness. "I thought you wouldn't let me go. You're afraid I'll be in danger." Saying this, Huamin pressed herself against Qin Chu's warm chest. She looked like a little woman who was acting coquettishly. "I won't. With you like this, I won't let you leave my side." Qin Chu put his hand on the back of Huamin's head and said softly, "So my trip with the kids is delayed?" Huamin pursed her lips. "Yeah. After we get rid of Wuxia, I'll take you wherever you want to go." Qin Chu coaxed her. "I want to go to the Milky Way," Huamin said deliberately. "But we have to buy a spaceship first." Then, the couple looked at each other and smiled. In the Wei family's mansion, 2 private doctors gave Wei Ying 4 drip and an injection. An hour later, she finally woke up. "Am I at home?" Wei Ying opened her eyes groggily and looked around. Then she said weakly, "How dare you say that? You're a disgrace to the Wei family." The old master of the Wei family doted on Wei Ying the most. Now, he felt humiliated and furious. "Dad." Wei Ying lowered her head guiltily. "Don't call me Dad. I don't have such a disappointing daughter." "Ying, what happened? You've been divorced for so long. What's wrong with you? What drug did Shenmingshi give you? You're willing to sacrifice your life to save him?" Mrs. Wei asked. Before Wei Ying could speak, Wei Liao interjected. "She thinks she's Lei Feng." "Big brother." "No." Wei Ying hurried to explain. "You're still denying it? You're pissing me off." Wei Liao scolded. "Help me." Wei Ying begged Jiang Xiaowei for help. Jiang Xiaowei lowered her head, not daring to say a word. In order not to offend either side, she chose to remain neutral. "Don't make things difficult for your sister-in-law. Everyone came back today to impeach you." Wei Liao scolded. I'm so dizzy. Dad, I'm so tired. I want to sleep. Can we talk about it tomorrow? Wei Ying whined. Dizziness doesn't matter. The private doctor hasn't left yet. He can continue to give you acupuncture. Wei Liao said. Am I really your little sister? Wei Ying was furious. Good question. Tomorrow, I'll get a DNA test to see if you're really my sister. How can you be such a coward? How can you have no bottom line? You were dumped, but you still ran back to donate blood. Who do you think you are? Wei Ying, Shen Mingxi's death has nothing to do with you. Wei Liao finally couldn't stand it anymore and flew into a rage. Big brother, you know I've liked him for many years. I can't just watch him die like that. Wei Ying was rarely so gentle. She was used to being a tyrant. There was a rumor in the circle that Wei Ying was the female version of Su Yu. She had a fiery temper. She was a typical spoiled rich girl and was very pretentious. Well said. Why don't you think about why Shen Mingxi didn't divorce you for the sake of our friendship and got together with Hui Yanyan in a high-profile manner? Don't you know how long our families have been fighting because of you? I thought that you would slowly get better after this matter was over. But look at you. Look at how busy you are when there's a slight disturbance. Why don't you think about your own status? Who do you think you are? Now that Shen Mingxi is in trouble, why didn't his beloved woman come to visit him and donate blood? What does it have to do with you? Wei Liao demanded. Hui Yanyan doesn't have Rh-negative blood. I have the same blood type as him, Wei Ying argued in a low voice. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.